Samuel Osei-Mensah is a member of parliament for Bosomtwe. He's here. I haven't met him the whole of this year. I know that he wrapped up the News File show for 2015. Have you been on any of the networks since?
Yes.
Okay. Bedroom.
Bedroom
TV.
Yes, even yesterday in the morning.
You were
Bedroom TV. Yes.
TV.
Yes. This year I've been there several times.
Yeah, yes, I know. Anyway, how are you?
By God's grace, I'm fine. And you?
You're a member of the ECOWAS Parliament?
Yes, I'm a member of the ECOWAS Parliament.
Have you been in sittings this year?
Yes. Even yesterday I was supposed to make a presentation at a program in Abuja. Even our speaker is there.
But why didn't you go?
I've been down the whole of last week. And about
a bit under the weather. Eh?
Yes, and about 3 weeks ago too, I was down. Even I had rashes. Yes.
Is it the stress of traveling up and down?
It could be that, so I decided that no, I need some rest. At least going again, you won't sleep. You spend a lot of time. You break down. At least your health.
When you go there, you don't sleep. Eh?
No, this one is a program of the UN.
No, I mean usually when you go for sittings and all.
Oh, you can have some time to rest, but when you belong to the bureau, you work till late.
Do you belong to the bureau?
Yes, and then for this particular program is UN Millennium Campaign Program, Network of African Parliamentarians, and there's a 7-member committee set up by the UN, which I'm a member. Yes, and I was supposed to make a presentation on behalf of the ECOWAS.
The president was a member of the ECOWAS Parliament, right?
The president was a member of the Pan-African Parliament.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not the same.
No, the Pan-African Parliament is for the whole of Africa, while the ECOWAS...
That's bigger.
Yeah, the bigger. While the ECOWAS is for only the 15-member ECOWAS states.
I know that usually when you are doing that, it affects a lot more of your work locally. That's your constituency.
Yeah,
even though ideally, if it was not because of the way we undertake our politics, it should have been some of the best.
Yes, it does. It does, because, you know, our understanding of the role of a member of parliament has not been well appreciated. So people feel maybe always you should be down there. Even when you have people that you've delegated powers to doing the work, they prefer seeing you physically always. And ECOWAS, Pan-African, IPU, Interparliamentary Union, all these ones are part of the parliamentary setup, except that they are international bodies. And once your parliament appoints you to the place, you should not disgrace your country, you should not disgrace yourself, you should not disgrace your constituents.
You should be a great ambassador.
Exactly.
All right, my director says I'm focusing too much on you, but I just wanted us to know a lot more of the way the intricacies are. When you're a member of parliament, you have to serve also the regional bodies.
No, you are right.
Bright Demoji is the other member we have here, not to discriminate. He's not a member of any of the parliament outside is Ghana Parliament. And he's a member of parliament for Botswana, English and Manfo. You're also a member of the Agric.
Yes, I'm a vice chair of the Food Agricultural Cocoa Affairs Committee.
Okay. And we hear Agric has not been doing too well. Cocoa, now they're slamming the cocoa board for not meeting targets, not likely to meet targets to this year, etc. Is it true?
Yes, that if you look at the projections, it's possible they may not be able to meet the target, but there are a lot of explanations to meeting target.
Give me one concrete story that sounds convincing to you.
Very convincing is the erratic climatic conditions. Climate change has a very great impact on crop yield because the nature of rainfall, the pattern of rainfall, and even the degree of heat have a great impact on the yield of crops. So we should not only be focusing on the inputs and output, but climatic weather conditions, because basically in Africa or this part of our world, we are basically depending on rain-fed agriculture, especially in the area of cash crops like cocoa. So yes, there may be other reasons, but climate change have a significant impact on the yield, crop yield.
Okay, this one is coming from somebody. He says, so we're just going to discuss in the US, okay, you are just going to discuss things about typo and errors in a brochure the whole of the week. It says we're embarrassing the country. And so no white man, if it occurred, would have been discussing this the whole week. He used a certain language I don't want to use though. But that's what we wanted to talk. Occupy Ghana. They've threatened.
Don't use the word.
Yes. Pressure group Occupy Ghana says it will head to court if government fails to make public the firm that printed the error-ridden Independence Day brochure. Apart from the identity of the company or companies that printed the brochure that exposed the country to international ridicule, the group is also demanding government to provide answers to other questions, which include which procurement procedure was adopted, was the PPA's approval obtained, if so, they want a copy of the letter, was a contract entered into with a company with a winning bid, has the Ministry of Finance been requested to release funds for payment to the company with the winning bid, etc.
I should respond. Okay. Thank you so much. Good morning to cherished viewers. Good morning to my constituents in Botiano, English I'm from. Yeah. You see, like just said by the gentleman, that as a country we should focus on the key producing issues. Productivity should be where we should focus on. And I share the same view with the last texter, that we are spending the whole week talking about a program line out. A program line out. I have so much difficulty, and I have a problem with even the Flagstaff House of even the
Communications Bureau at the Flagstaff.
No, I'm talking about even I'm trying to question myself and what is the structure. Because if you look at the whole thing, what is the issue in the first place? Communication Bureau design or a contractor design and relates to Communication Bureau. Communication Bureau did not do their job well by approving the document, send it to another department, either the protocol unit or ISD unit, and they printed out. They printed out, somebody go through the printer before they start distributing, because even at the time of distribution, they can refuse not to distribute. If they realize there's a major mistake, they can refuse not to distribute the brochure. Because in the case, not everybody was supposed to hold that thing. So everybody along the chain has a role to play, and they all fail in their responsibility.
So you're saying what should be done?
The point I'm trying to make is that there are critical things that happened that day. There was a serious meeting between the president of Ghana.
You mean there are more important things?
Yes, and the president of Kenya.
And this one is less important, even though it was of international magnitude.
You see, the reasons I'm saying this is that these are performance-related issues. Civil servants are employed. Have they been given performance contracts? And in their appointment or whatever, is it a collective bargaining agreement or performance contract? How did they measure them in terms of performance? If you have performance measurement contract in place with the civil servant, this man should not be sacked. I have a difficulty with the man, because is that what in terms of contract says, that if you are not able to perform in one particular job, you should be sacked? Is that the civil service structure? I have a difficulty. If I'm the man, I'll challenge it. Because I see me that what's your name?
Roland.
One mistake in this studio should cost you your job. Is that the agreement you signed with Joy News?
If overall my mistake puts the company into disrepute above all other mistakes I make, yes, it can cost
all depends on what you sign, because these are performance-related issues. In this country, because we don't have performance-related ways of doing things. Because if you work with a multinational and they rate you by your activities on daily basis, on your monthly basis, not by one activity. So I'm saying that, yes, clearly, if there should be a criteria, if you refuse to meet certain target, or you have performed certain things that are not in order, and there's going to be a demotion, or there's going to be this, it should be clearly stated in the way the civil servant do. That's why I said that we should look at the whole civil service structure again. Because things must change in this country. And for things to change, the public service, the civil service must change. That's how come I say that we can continue to look at all these things and blame one person, or look at a way of blaming one particular person on the one. But it's a systemic failure. The system is that we have to look at and see how we can reward people that are doing very well, and that we can look at people that are performing poorly.
We don't understand.
If we don't look at those things, what is going to happen is that something will happen, we jump on one person's neck and punish the person, and that's going to be the end. Another time, the same thing will repeat itself.
Mr. Simon, sir, what do you make of all this?
I would have agreed very much with him if it had been the first case.
But it doesn't involve the same person. That's the whole case.
No.
He has not committed several mistakes.
No, I would have agreed, and even with the tester. Because some similar issues happened before. I don't think we spent a lot of time discussing. It's now of paramount importance for us to discuss this issue detail and find solution to it once and for all, because it's one too many. You remember in September last year, there was Summit of Authority of Heads of States of West African countries here. And a similar incident happened, even though not the same as this one, not errors. But the address of the president, when he had his colleague presidents or their representatives with him on the podium, President reading his message got to a point, he was missing.
Protocol embarrassment.
Serious embarrassment. Just imagine yourself in that position with your colleagues behind you in your own country. We failed to investigate that issue to the bottom. We nipped it in the bud. And then here we are with this one. Secondly, look, even with the recent State of the Nation address, this is the first time the president has read State of the Nation, giving the State of the Nation to Ghanaians. And you have people coming out boldly to say, please, this project is not there. This one, it has been terminated. This one, people have left side 3 years ago, even especially for the voter region. The first time since 1993 that an NDC government has said something and people from voter region coming to refute it because they said now it's too much. We cannot take it any longer.
And you think that's critical?
It's critical. Who provided the information to the president? You see, me sometimes I put myself in that situation. Like I delivering and people attacking me that is not true. It's embarrassing. Then you have just one. Even here in Joy FM, or even take only the television section. If you want to undertake an activity and you want to draw up a program, whoever is drawing up the program, whether it's a committee, whether you sublet to another company outside Joy, the person or the committee will provide a draft. And that draft will be considered not by only one person. To firm it, do the corrections. And when the corrections are done, you will still, give it to whoever is in charge. And then they will come with another version for you to ascertain and satisfy yourself that it's now okay before they are distributed. So they didn't go through that process. It was such an important event. Again, when was even the document given to the president?
You mean
the president himself? When was the document given to the president himself? Was it at the function? If it wasn't at the function, it was given to him, he never had a look at anything. And went straight there. You see, there's protocol failure, communication failure. It's major.
Basa.
I'm telling you.
Basa.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Then this guy, they sacked. I'm happy that the employees there were bold enough to come and tell him, please, we didn't do the work.
Yes.
Now, the country, the reason why I'm saying it's important for us to discuss is that, one, we need the procurement process that was used. the company that was giving the contract, how much was involved in this shoddy work.
Why is that important?
It's important because it's your money, it's my money. The government is just holding our resources in trust of us, all of us. You pay tax.
Over a brochure, just brochure, for an independent celebration for, let's say, for about 1,000 guests or something.
You see, you can have a ball on the leg, and you can have a ball in the truth. They are not the same. A ball in the truth can kill you easily. You can have a ball in the ear, you can die easily. So you see, don't let's simplify the whole thing. It's not easy like that. You have presidents there, the international community, the diplomatic corps, international press.
You don't think civil society? You don't think civil society and you, the political players who are opponents of government, are perhaps overestimating this?
If it had been the first time, I would have said that.
But you're saying there's a series?
Yes.
What do you make of this? That he's pointed out series that have been widely publicized by the media and also on various platforms. That there's not been the confidence given to the public that when these inefficiencies occur or abnormalities occur, they are corrected because they are not investigated. The public doesn't know. Nobody's held accountable until now. We have this one finally. I guess.
You see, I agree with my colleague that it's not the first time. But I think it was also in Parliament 2001.
No, I went in 2005.
Okay, I was a very, I've been watching proceedings of Parliament since 1992, 1993. And I've also watched that if you even go back to the State of the Nation's addresses in 2001, you see some, and I went back to read this old Hamzat. You see Bagwe even pointing out certain errors in the State of the Nation address as far back as 2000, 2001, even in 1998 or something. The point I'm trying to make is that these are systems, and we should not be looking at individual people.
And that we need to make sure the systems work. So that people will know that logically this is what they have to do.
We can still make reference to the past and the past. If you go back to our records.
But we have to put corrective measures.
That is the point I'm making.
But is it not the same? He's saying that because we don't punish, it means that we don't put corrective measures.
No, it is not even issue about punish. If there are systems in place to ensure that those
who are supposed to be doing actions.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you know that when you do this and do this is the. I mean, and they are in the system. The people are in the civil service.
So you're saying it's not peculiar to this very situation
at all. That's the point.
Somebody said that's good excuse.
And let me no, it's not an excuse at all. I'm saying that we should find a way. But these issues completely, if you look at what.
How about the company that did it? Because now ISD, that logically our state protocol that was supposed to do it, they didn't do their thing. So who did it? And that person needs to be held accountable.
Bernard, if you have involved in printing or advertising or of any sort.
Yeah, I've been involved. That's my work.
Then you should know that anytime at all you've awarded a contract.
There's an agency
to an agency. Agency will give you the draft. And it's a responsibility of you, the owner of the work, to say, yes, go ahead.
Like, so for example, behind you have address by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, who's supposed to be the President of the Republic of Ghana.
You understand?
But let's look at this. It's not part of the things that we've given you. The Daily Dispatch, as well as the Ghanaian Times, apparently the IGP met a number of is it political parties or civil or youth organizers of the various political parties in Accra yesterday. Now the IGP says all those vigilante groups he's not going to tolerate. And we know we are in an election year. We have Azoka Boys, NDC, Delta Force in Ashanti, and then we also have, is it Striking Force?
Which one?
Invisible Forces, you know. And now these have become phenomenons proliferating or, if not operating within our political system. What do you make of it?
It's an excellent
proposition
that is made. But the question normally I ask myself, what have been the causes of all these things? One, as he's saying that, then the police service itself must be neutral, or must be seen to be neutral.
Are you saying that because they've not had confidence in the police service, so the emergence of these groups?
Yeah, when you have uprising in countries, some of them, when people lose confidence in the system that should protect them, then they will try to protect themselves. So if the police is seen to be neutral, most of these things, even if they exist, they can operate. Because you not even have the grounds to operate. But when I feel threatened, that is where I think I need to protect myself. All this while, my brother, let me use the demise of Honorable G.B. Dankwa as an example. How come now parliamentarians are saying they need security? Do you understand it? Because they think they are threatened. They don't have adequate security. So when somebody thinks that the person hasn't got adequate security, the one will try to protect him or herself. Now, it's good he is just taking over the affairs of the police service, and he is saying this, but what I will urge him, to urge his people also to be neutral, to be seen to be neutral, so that the confidence will be built going forward. From now up to the election period, if the actions and inactions of the IGP and his men prove to be neutral, I'm telling you, people might not even find it necessary to do it, because you do it at a cost. The upkeep of all those people is supposed to be borne by the political parties. You have to give them vehicles, you have to pay them. It's a cost. But if you have the national security apparatus doing its work objectively and realistically, people will not go in for these things. It's an excellent idea.
Mr. Delali, I find it very implausible that once we have the state apparatus reservedly working better, then it means that all these will go. Because now we have police who now, according to what the statistics are, have been able to reduce crime. Now enforceability has become even more entrenched. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, that's what, I don't think anybody in this country would disagree with what the IGP said, because quite frankly, anytime I thought you have vigilante groups that sometimes are not even well monitored or well controlled, even by their own leadership. Anytime I thought there is a small chaos, it becomes very difficult to control. So vigilante groups are not very good groups as far as security issues are concerned. But you see, we need to look at it very carefully, because these groups exist in our own communities. It's not as if the day the groups were, the formation of the group was something that was, I mean, formed somewhere and nobody has any knowledge about it, and all of a sudden they appear. And sometimes these groups are not well-organized groups, young men who are sitting under a particular tree to have their fans in the evening or sometime in the afternoon.
Well, if you say they are not well-organized, what do you mean? Because we have very much, many of them well-attired, very much seem to have been organized. They even have names patched up behind their back or something like that.
No, the fact that somebody got the T-shirt and they wrote at the back. I mean, when you say well organized, it means that even
they have a structure,
the chain of command with those groups is sometimes.
What do we have the IGP? What do we need to have the IGP doing to them?
The first thing is to ensure that yes, everybody in this country has some level of confidence in the police administration. That yes, if I pick a phone call and there's a trouble, if I pick a phone call, so one, psychological confidence in the the police service, accessibility. How to have access to the security services in time is critical. And then, as my colleague is saying, that the police should make sure that areas of political crimes should be looked at carefully. Because you see, in this country, people hide behind political colors and do all kinds of things. And the mere fact that it is in the political colors, then the way to manage and handle those things becomes a problem.
Okay.
So we should deal with issues of crime decisively if it's a crime.
The political parties, what do you need to do? Because the political parties, they have a hand in all this. They brought up Invisible Forces, Delta Force, and then we have Azoka, we have all the other groups. What do they need to do?
You know, when Azuka Boys started, if they had been stopped, the other parties wouldn't have gone in for other forces. But Azuka Boys started way back 90s. Do you understand it?
That's frightening.
Yes, and terrorizing people during election period.
Are you sure?
Why not? Especially in the north. So, when issues were reported to the police, these people were freed.
They didn't deal with it
They didn't deal, exactly. Then what do? I also have to form a counter force.
So yours is counter force, or it's called Invisible Forces?
I'm not invisible forces.
You are giving scenarios?
Yes, I'm giving scenarios. So, the other affected person, negatively affected person, will try to counter.
Because he's aggrieved.
He's aggrieved. Because if it happened to
and
me...
he has to seek an alternative to security provision.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying the police service and the security service in general must be seen to be fair. That is all.
Okay.
If they are fair, why do I counter?
Now let's change the subject. Well, I wanted us to look at an inferno in Kumasi, and also the subject of widespread online PhDs. I don't know whether we have any of them, but we have to take a break. Unfortunately, we have to deal with an emergency news situation we're getting on the news wires, and so we're taking a break. And then that'll be it for AM Talk this morning. I've had in the studio Simon Osemen, a member of Parliament for Bosomtwe, and also for English, Botiano English among for his bright Demoji, my good friend. You're in white. I love it. Sir, good morning. And
good morning.
Very good to you. We're taking a break. When we come back, Gladys already will be here. And then we'll have a lot more. We'll have a lot more online portals to also take a look at. Just here. We'll be right back.